Good evening, everybody. This is Sue, the Soggy Stamper. Rain or shine, it's stamping time, and it's 7 o'clock on a Friday evening. And I am excited to bring to you this birthday card. It is a Gatefold, fancy fold. It folds up to be flat, just like that. And then a belly band goes around it. I haven't made the belly band yet, but just this part of the card is really cool. So it folds, when you open it up, it pops up like that. And it stands up so nicely. It has a flower on it. And I'm using, to make this card, the Simply Zinnia suite of products. Okay. I had everything ready except for the stamp set. So this is the Simply Zinnia. This is an online exclusive that was introduced, I believe, last fall. No, this spring. At any rate, it has several greetings. I like the way that the font is different. Sending flowers and thinking of you. Words fail to express my gratitude. Thank you so much. And then it's got a little bit of cross-hatching type things for background details, plus the big bouquet and the flower and the leaves. And along with that comes this set of dies. Has a die to cut out the big bouquet. You would stamp that and do coloring and stuff like that with that. And then it has a die for this flower. Has a die for the leaves. And then it has some dies for a stem, to layer 2 layers of petals, and a couple of layers for the center part, and a leaf. And then there's this little short leaf that you could put on your flower for your zinnia as well. I'm also going to be using, for a greeting from the Country Birdhouse, this happy birthday, because it fits nicely on my card. And I'm cutting it out using the smallest deckled rectangles die, this one here in the center. Now I found this, I think it's Sam Colcott from the UK has made this design, developed this design, and she was using cardstock for all of it. But I decided to use designer series paper for the center part. So the base of the card, this basic white, 11 by 4 1/4. She was making a 5 by 7 card, and I just kind of took the scoring things and developed it for myself, using to make it to fit it into a medium envelope, U.S. medium envelope. So this is 11 by 4 1/4. I'm going to score at 5 1/2. And then score at 2 3/4, and then score at 2 3/4 on each end. And this at 5 1/2, you fold it that way. Make it nice and sharp. And then you're going to fold these in, making valley folds. this. Huh. Okay, and then you fold that one that way as well. So that's the card base. Now, the designer series paper is 3.5 by 11. No. Yeah. 3.5 by 11. Also, I'm going to score it the same way at 5.5. At 2 3/4. With designer series paper, sometimes you have to be careful you don't press too hard when you're scoring, because oftentimes, at least for sometimes, it will cut through the paper with the scoring. Okay, so now we have a fold line here, a score line here, here, and here. It's a little hard to see. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to put, you can measure if you prefer to use a ruler and measure, but I'm going to just line up the score lines. I wonder if it'd be easier to see on this other side. Maybe. So you put the end of that score line, and it comes clear down to the corner. I'll do it on the right side. Let me show you on this cardstock first. So you put this corner into the groove in that corner, and you're going to score that way. And you do the same thing, this edge and that point there, and you're going to score. Let me turn the card piece around from there down to here and score, and from here down to the point, and you're going to score. So you end up with crosses going across the middle of these two sides. Let me do that now. For some reason, the light here makes it hard to see. There it is, score line. Okay, that looks like it's right. Score. You can see that one better. Score. And then from this corner down to the center score line. Score. And the center point to the corner. Okay, so I've got my score lines done. The center fold is a mountain fold, as are the end ones, the 2 3/4. So those are all mountain folds. And then the diagonals are valley folds, like that. So there's one. And then this one. that. Then as you work them, they will fold in to be like that. And there's your piece like that. Okay, so before we put it on to the card base, I have some designer series paper that is 4 by 2.5 that I'm going to put on here. I'm choosing to use the liquid glue because I can slide it around slightly to get it lined up the way I want. Okay. Now on the center panels, you could just just piece it. But I'm one for making it easier, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it down all the way down and cover up part of it, the designer series paper. I chose this because of the vines. The flowers can be climbing up the vines, or the stems. They're not vines. Okay, now the back you could leave plain, but I am going to put a couple on just for design. Leave the center plain so you can write on it. Put one over on this end. So there's our card base, and here's the action piece. And it's kind of a good idea to trim off just a little bit on the end because you've got all this to fold in, and so it's going to fit in like this. And you're going to fasten it down there. But when you put it down and then try to fold these edges in, you end up with it being kind of bunchy. Well, that worked out pretty well. So the first thing to do is put the bottom on this part. So I'll put some glue. And you want to match to make sure that the folds match up exactly. And that it's lined up properly. Like that. And then you just glue in one side and then the other. By folding it over. And it doesn't quite meet in the center, but that's okay. So then when you open up your card, you have this. Isn't that cool? Okay, so that's the reason for trimming a little bit off the ends, because it kind of hangs over. So I'll have to trim that with the scissors here. So it's good to take just a little bit off the centerpiece before you glue it down. There. So there's our card base. Now to decorate it. In the sample one, I've stamped Happy Birthday on a label and put a flower in the center. I'm not going to decorate the front because there'll be a belly band going over the top of it. But you could. You could decorate the front with flowers. So to decorate this, I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday from the Country Birdhouse stamp set. Come on. Got glue on my fingers. Glue on my fingers and it drives me crazy. Okay, I'm going to put it right about there. Huh. Okay, so you stamp first before you cut so that you can turn it over. I wonder what that was. A little bit of something on the corner. There, that's pretty good. And I'm going to cut it with my trusty little thing. And this smallest deckled rectangle. Come on. I'm going to do it near the bottom of the greeting so that there's room to attach the zinnia on the top. And I have to go get my tape. Thank you. Washi tape works for holding down the dies, but my washi tape is so old that it's not sticking. So I'm going to use some painter's tape. carefully so it doesn't tear the surface of my thing. There we go. I think I used a bigger one. Oh well, we'll make it work. I actually used the next bigger one. Okay, so now we're going to have some fun with flowers to make our flower. Going to use this die. And the thing that's cool about this is it embosses as well as cutting out, so you have some texture to it. This is peach pie cardstock. I have a monitor, my iPad, to monitor what's going on, and the monitor quit. Don't know why. Okay, so that's one of the petals. And then I'm going to use this one. The thing about the mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss is that you can't have too wide a piece of cardstock. So there we have an orange one. And then we've got a couple of pieces to put in. You see how there's the yellow around here? There's a die for that, and there's a die for this. So you can see how it's got some embossing on it. So I held off getting this bundle for a while. Then I saw everybody's great ideas that they had made with it. I went, oh, okay. So I think maybe I need it after all. But you know, because you never, I guess, can have too many flowers. Although I have quite a few. Okay, so I'm going to put the yellow on there, like that. And actually, I'm going to slide it down a little bit. And then with the pumpkin pie for the center. Boy, my plates are getting warped. Okay, where'd the die go? Came right off. Let's try that again. So you squeeze them together. Ah, hopefully. Okay, can't do them both at the same time, because that won't stay put. I guess I could use some tape, hold it down. I do have new cutting plates, but I just hate to retire the old ones. Okay. So working in a tight area, things tend to fall apart, fall away. Okay, and then we're going to use the leaf die for a single leaf. Oh, that still has cardstock on that one. And I am going to redo the label because that's too small. I needed to use the next larger. Double check. No, that's not the one. This is the one. So we'll stamp it again. Even demonstrators of 22 years make errors, because nobody is perfect. So those of you who may be just starting out doing videos, hang in there. And don't worry if you make a mistake, just do it. So I want it down as far as possible so there's more room for the base of my, to be supportive of my flower. we go. Okay, so now let's put the flower together. We got all the pieces that we need. Come on out, there we go. I'm going to start by putting the leaf down. That, and then this flower, I'm going to only put glue on the bottom portion like that, so there's no glue back here to cause it to stick. And before I put this down, I'm going to slightly curl the petals with my bone folder. They'll probably get smushed back down again, but at least they start that way, curved a little bit. Put some glue there. Stagger it like that. And then on my sample, I put this down first, but I think I'm going to put it on after I put the center of the flower, because the center of the flower covered much of the little stuff around, the little fluffies. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, now we're ready to put it in the card to pop it up. And to do that, I'm going to take a couple pieces of, this is about not quite ½ inch wide. And fold them in half. You can score them or you can just hand fold them. They don't have to be precisely in half even. I'm going to attach them here in the center of the card. So I'm going to want to put them about in here. Again, this doesn't have to be precise, but you do want to get the folds close to, but not over the fold of the card. See, like that. Kind of snug them up next to each other. So that when you bend it out like that, they stand out. And then we put the, now Sam Calcott actually had this pop up more, the centerpiece, because she had a thing that popped up instead of just being flat like that. But because it's got pretty much depth to it anyway, thickness, I wanted to keep it as flat as possible. So it'll stand out like that when the card's open, see? Nope. Make sure both sides are stuck down. There. And so when the card folds up, that just tucks inside like that. And there you have it. Now let's make a belly band. I didn't get around to it earlier. I forgot about it. But let me show you how to make a belly band. Need at least 8.5 by 11. Yep, that'll work. You could use designer series paper this, or cardstock that's 12 inches long. I think actually that's what I'm going to do. I think I'll use this design. I'm going to cut it to be maybe 1 inch wide. It really doesn't matter how wide, it's just up to you. So it's 1 by 12. And all you have to do is fold it over. Like so. And put some adhesive on it. Use some nail, this stamp and seal. Like that, and then you just slide it off. And let's see, what are some of the sayings here? Sending flowers and thinking of you. That would be a perfect thing to put across the belly band there. So let's get that one out. And a piece of basic white cardstock. And we'll use the Mossy Meadow ink. Use our paper trimmer. Trim the end off a little bit. Okay, so the whole band is 1 inch wide, and I'm going to need to trim this down a little bit. Because I don't want to have the greeting be 1 inch wide. So I'm going to make it 3/4 of an inch. Perfecto. Stamp and seal along the bottom, along it. Or we could use Stampin' Dimensionals. Come on, let go. Let's find those Stampin' Dimensionals. Helps keep the card shut. And then when you open it up, surprise! So at any rate, thank you for watching. This is Sue, the Soggy Stamper. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the Pacific Northwest. And I will put this video up on my YouTube channel, The Soggy Stamper, this evening. If you have any need to order any of the supplies I've used, you can go to my blog, soggystamper.com, and in the upper right-hand corner is a Shop Now button, or you could go to creationsbysue.stampinup.net. That is the URL of my online store. If you have any questions, sue@soggystamper.com. And thank you for watching, and have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. And we'll see you again next Friday night at 7 o'clock. Bye-bye.